Hi everyone. It's been a while since I made a video here, but I did a post on Facebook not too long ago in which I spoke about nature and love being the most important things that we need to adhere to now to survive these times. We are in incredible times, and if you've been paying attention, you will realize that. It seems that some of our leaders have gone crazy. They're making suggestions that are not in our best interest. And if we're not aware of them, we need to do some research on that. So I'm not going to get into those details. You can find that out on your own or message me privately. But getting back to nature and love, this is why it is so important that we align with nature. Nature is our source. We are one with nature, just as all the animals and the forests and everything else on the earth is. The earth is also one with nature, and we are one with the earth. Many of us have fallen out of alignment with that to the point where they are destroying the earth. We have leaders or a source behind the earth that is not in alignment with the earth, with nature. It is destroying nature. And we can either align with that source that is behind our leaders, or we can align with nature and love, which is within us and which is around us. Now, how do we do that? Well, love is more than just a feeling that we have for another person. It is a material essence. It is a frequency of purity, of goodness. It is what ignites us into being. It is what keeps us alive, keeps our bodies working. Anyone who's ever studied the human body realizes what a miracle we are, what a miracle all of nature is. That is our source. That is nature. Some people may call it God. Um, I will not use that. But those that do align with that, and I am certainly a believer in love and in nature. That's what I choose to call it, because I feel like the God word has gotten too mixed up with division, with false paradigms, with dogmas and doctrines that do not align with love, that do not align with nature, that have probably been inserted by that other source that is behind our leaders and behind a lot of the destruction that we see on earth. So I am just going to keep this to nature and love. And those of us that do believe in God and like to use that word will know that nature and love are a massive part of that. And to me, it's all of that. So the reason we need to align with nature and with love is because we're going to see things really speeding up, where this other source behind our leaders is going to create a lot of challenges. They will remove cash from our system so that we are completely controlled by credit cards, by their digital systems. So fight for cash as long as you can, support those that keep cash alive. It will also force people that are not going along with the plans and ideas of these leaders, like the digital ID is going to be very dangerous. It's going to force those that do not go along with what the leaders put out. For example, the vaccinations. It will force those people to not be able to use anything that the digital ID is associated with, that credit is associated with. It will force those people off of healthcare, off of bank accounts, off of internet, off of everything, to utilities. I mean, it's as bad as it can get. Now, what kind of a leader would do that? Certainly not one that we could trust. And we need to align with the trustworthy at this time. And think about the future we want for our children. Do we want our children to live in a social credit system where they might be allowed to enter a store or go to school if they've not jaywalked across the street or had their last thing in the arm or whatever? We need to realize that these are very incredulous times. They're a little bit of a Orwellian, Huxleyan nightmare, actually, and we're going to see this more in times to come. So how do we survive it? Certainly not by keeping ourselves super busy, distracting ourselves with shopping, with internet, with how we look, with cosmetic surgeries, with alcohol, marijuana, food, sugar, porn, you name it. These are the times that we have to fully witness everything that's going on our planet. So that means witnessing the human trafficking. If you haven't seen the film Sound of Freedom, I suggest you go, because it's really important that we witness these things, that we feel it, that we feel the sadness, the disgust, the anger, and that we actually sit with those feelings and integrate them. We have not been taught how to heal trauma, and we have to do that now. And how do you heal trauma? You feel it. You feel things that are really unpleasant. You feel alternate opinions, other ideas, trauma from your childhood, and you just sit with it and hold yourself lovingly, like that most loving parent you always wanted. We always wanted the parent that when we cried would just hold us and rock us and say, breathe, baby. It's going to be okay. Yes, it hurts, but I got you. I got you, and we'll get through that. That's what we need to do with ourselves. We need to feel everything that comes up. And we need to stand with nature. That means standing up for integrity, for honesty, for our deep values, because that other insert, that other source is not aligning with our values. Look what they're doing with the schools, with the universities. This whole woke ideology is a way to divide us. We're all one. No one is any better or any worse than anyone else. We need to love each other and support each other. They're bringing in a new system where they're saying they're going to give the First Nations their land back, meaning taking away everybody's property. This has already been suggested for Vancouver, for the area I live in. This will not benefit the First Nations people, because they will not. Why would we trust these people that have always been so untrustworthy? They will not give it to them. They'll use that to get everybody out of their properties, to put them into smart cities, small government housing buildings where they can only go within a mile of their home. Is that something you want? They've got electric fences to keep people in that small area. And they want you eating their garbage food, which is not of nature, which will make you sicker and sicker. It's very serious. Those who know me know I've been warning you for a long time about things that they were suggesting, things that did not have clinical trials, things that did not appear safe and became obviously unsafe, as we see the fallout now. So how do we deal with all this? We have to stand up for what's right. We have to stand up for the future we want for ourselves and our children. We have to say no. We have to stop censoring ourselves. No more wanting to make other people feel comfortable. No, it's important that we honestly speak. This is how nature works through us. It brings up what we truly believe. That other source has also implanted us in a matrix that makes us not make other people feel uncomfortable, do what everybody else does so that we're accepted. No. What did Jesus do? What did Gandhi do? What did Martin Luther King do? What did our great leaders do? They stood up for the truth. They stood up for that sometimes less popular truth that was within them, to stand for equality, to stand for what's right, to let our children have a childhood, to say no to sexual exploitation of our children, to say no to human trafficking. Why are they dressing our children up like little sexual beings, made up and wearing pornographic outfits? What is that? There is some really sick ideologies on our planet, and it's going out now. So how do we survive these times and bring in that beautiful world we know that's possible? We have to spend time sitting in silence every single day, at least 20 minutes. You don't have to do anything particular, no fancy breathing. In fact, no audio. You just stop and you close your eyes and you just be. And you feel everything that's coming up in your body. It will likely be really uncomfortable for many of you. But over time, I can promise you, if you continue this, I suggest doing it first thing in the morning before you look at your phone, setting the alarm a little bit earlier so you make sure you make time for this, and doing it first thing before you go to bed every night. Just sitting 20 minutes in silence. If you can't do 20 minutes, start with 5, start with 3, but just do it. Set a timer and add 1 more minute every day until you're doing 20 minutes. What I promise you will come if you can continue with this is a sense of peace beyond what you've ever known. But what you'll find is that the mind is going to want to come in and distract you and plant thoughts, and you just keep focusing. Just go back to the stillness that's between the thoughts. If you have to, if they're important thoughts, have a pad of paper beside you and you can jot down the thoughts so that you don't need to return to them. You will be distracted, but over time, you will have longer and longer periods of silence between the thoughts. Silence that is blissful, that is peaceful. And you'll realize that is your true essence. It's calm, it's beautiful, it's gentle, it's incredibly peaceful. And the more you align with this, the more you will be guided with what you need to do to get through these times. I promise you that. There's a lot of us that have woken up for some time to the incredible violence and lack of values that is being brought in from above, from our leadership. And what we usually see with that is there's a problem. They create a problem. Oh, it's UFOs are invading us. So we all need to get out of our homes and go to a safe community center or stadium or something. It's time we stop trusting our authorities. It's time we turn off the news, turn off the television, turn off the Netflix even. Netflix, it's got all sorts of stuff that is of that other insert. We don't need it. Get for walks in nature. Read some good classic books. Journal. Journaling is fantastic. Journal about what you're feeling. Plug into silence, classical music, sounds of nature, sounds of birds. Be alone at times. Sit with solitude. It will benefit you in the long run. And realize that love is the elixir behind this taking time in silence. You will feel it stronger and stronger. Unplug from the matrix, unplug from social media and all these things enough so that you're having enough time to just be and to feel, because we've been taught to not feel. And you need to be able to just hold yourself with that. Being of service, being of love is so important. But if you have people in your life that just take and don't give back and don't come from a place of love, perhaps people that are just so traumatized, they're just constantly abusing alcohol or drugs, or constantly engaged on their phones, or they're just not really present, it might be time to look for others who are more present and spend more time with them. And look for the beautiful, look for the uplifting, limit the amount of time. Yes, there's a lot of negative stuff going on our planet, and it's important to know some of the things that are going on. But there are also a lot of psyops, psychological operations that are meant to put you in fear. And this other source on the planet wants you in fear, and it wants you divided from your neighbor. And this is not how we're going to get through these times. There's a real beautiful path unfolding, a path of love, alignment with nature. And you want to think about how you can support nature more, both by giving back to the environment, maybe going to farmers markets instead of buying all the plastic that we do, walking more instead of taking our cars all the time. But above all, that sitting in silence and aligning, we will know the right thing to do for us. We will get through. There is no such thing as death. We do carry on forever, no matter what comes down. We don't need to be afraid of that. What we need to be afraid of is this other frequency that wants to make us more transhuman, robotic, not thinking for ourselves, propelled by fear and anxiety. And it's time that we plug into our own divine spark that's within, which we will get in touch with when we spend more time in silence. And we got to do the right thing. Our kids deserve a future, and so do we. So it's been really good to plug in here. This video is a little longer than some I've done lately, but I hope you enjoy it. And feel free to reach out and send me a personal message if you have any questions. And if you want to know where I'm getting this information from, just look at the World Health Organization and the United Nations. They're the ones that are bringing this new stuff in. And our leaders are all on board, being forced to. Not all of the leaders know what's really going on. Most of them do. And eventually we'll probably be leading ourselves, and nature and love leading us, which will come from within us as we spend more time in silence. It's really beautiful. And you're worth it. We're all worth it. One beautiful human family. We're not these awful things that are polluting the environment. It's actually the corporations. It's soil pollution. It's water pollution, air pollution that are our problems. It's these chemtrails. They call it geoengineering. There's lots on it. They don't even try to hide it anymore. It's not climate change. We can go up a few degrees down, we'll still survive it. That's their catch-all phrase to be able to steal our property, steal our rights. No, they've already done it. We've seen that a lot. The last 4 years have been horrific, and it's going to get worse. So we have to have that serenity within, that calmness of being that we'll only get by doing what I've shared with you. So I really care about you all. I know these are difficult times. I know a lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are dying. And this is not because of nature and love. We know why that is. So as we align more with nature, we'll bring in cleaner water, cleaner air, healthy soil, organic foods. We'll be okay. So don't let that other source distract you into doing the wrong thing. I love you dearly. I'm here if you need to reach out. And if you have a lot of trouble sitting with your feelings, reach out to me. I do a lot of work in helping people to sit with feelings. It's called somatic healing. And it's really important. Doing some yoga, doing some breath work. These are all things, journaling, meditating of any kind. All of these things are going to help us at this time. And really love the trustworthy and give little attention to those that aren't. And say no. Don't censor yourself and be willing to say no. There's going to be millions, billions of us saying no in the times to come. You watch. It's all going to start changing. Don't be afraid. Feel the fear. Sit with the fear and hold yourself. That's how we do it. Okay? Take good care. I got to shut this thing off. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye.